Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Caregiving and Entrepreneurship Reimagined. Today, we're doing part two of my burnout prevention series. And if you're new here, I'm Miller, and this series is all about helping you prevent caregiver burnout before it breaks you so you can care without losing yourself or your dreams. So, I have a question for you. Have you ever ignored what your body was desperately trying to tell you because caregiving couldn't wait? I have. In the first year of caring for my husband, I brushed off some constant fatigue, anxiety, even stomach pains that I was dealing with at the time. And I kept telling myself, I'll deal with it later. But you know what? Not letter, later, later never came until it actually turned into a full-blown health crisis. And that was the moment I realized that actually pausing isn't a sign of weakness. It actually makes you wiser. Why? Because when you pause, you're not being lazy. You're actually taking the time to tune in to what your body needs and tune in to what your loved one needs. And some of the best caregivers aren't the ones that just push past every warning sign that their body is telling them, or maybe their mind or emotions are telling them. It's the best caregivers are the ones who actually slow down, stop, even if it's briefly, because I know we're busy and I know we have a lot going on. But if we even just stop briefly, guys, to notice our exhaustion or the symptoms or warning signs our body is throwing at us, it gives us the chance to listen to what our body needs before it actually forces us to stop. And pausing helps you see clearly. Observation and good caregiving depend on noticing, right? Because um, you have to notice what is going on at all times with your loved one to be able to make sure that they are getting the care they need, whether that's notifying the doctor of a changing symptom or a changing condition or just something else, right? You need to know what's going on. But noticing can't happen when we're rushing because we're going so fast we're not really paying attention. Pausing helps us catch the little things that your loved ones shifting in terms of their health, the little shifts. Like maybe it's their mood, maybe they're more emotional, or maybe they're more angry. Maybe their appetite is changing. Maybe they're eating more or eating less. Maybe they're just feeling more stress and anxiety than normal. So when you take time to pause, the clarity can come in, and pausing allows for stillness, which means that you are able to really take in what's going around you in a better way. So, one of the hardest lessons that I have gone through and learned in my own um, health journey, especially with being a stay at home mom and a caregiver, is that I had this mentality for about a year that if I just kept pushing through and if I didn't stop, I was actually being stronger. But in turn, it was actually making me weaker by ignoring my own health, ignoring the fatigue, ignoring the stomach pains, ignoring the tiredness, because it was making me weaker physically, mentally, and emotionally. Because I didn't have the bandwidth anymore to keep up with what was going on, and I was just sick all the time and not feeling good. And that doesn't help me have, or didn't help me have, a clear head to be able to keep up with what my daughter needed, to keep up with what my husband needed. It just wasn't a good scenario. So one of the simplest tools I have learned, though, over the years that in terms of pausing is that pausing doesn't have to take a lot of time. Sometimes all it needs to be is sometimes taking a deep breath. And I've actually just recently started doing this practice where that I learned from one of my devotionals. The context was about peace and about how she gave the illustration, the author gave the illustration of every time you breathe in, you're breathing in peace. Every time you breathe out, you're breathing out stress, anxiety, worry, anger, insert anything you like. And I have to tell you, that has helped me throughout my day when I'm having moments of stress or panic, or especially at night with, I know personally for me, my anxiety can tend to be a little worse because it's at the end of the day. I'm again still because I'm trying to go to sleep, and that's when my mind chooses to wander and drive me crazy, right? So taking the time to just take a deep breath and breathe out, and then just visualizing in my brain, even if it's just for 1 minute or 5 minutes, what I'm wanting to release and get rid of so I can have a calmer head to move forward with my day has helped me so much. So I encourage you to whether you're religious or not, just take a moment, take a minute um, throughout your day, several times a day, as many times as you need, to just say to yourself that I am safe and I choose to release and breathe out whatever is holding me back from being the type of caregiver that I want to be. So take a deep breath and then breathe out whatever you want to breathe out, whether it's stress, anxiety, worry, uncertainty, fear. Interject anything that you need to get rid of so you can have a clearer head to be the caregiver that your loved one needs. And here's something that might help. We always have our phones with us, right? I know for me, I live by my Google Calendar. I have so many reminders to keep me updated about what's coming up in my schedule because I can't remember it all. I just don't have the mental bandwidth, right? Well, do that with your self care. Set a repeating reminder on your phone to go off, whether it's an alarm clock or maybe it's a repeat reminder on your Google Calendar to stop and pause, to take a pause break once in a while, or maybe set your watch. I have a health watch and I can actually set custom alerts throughout the day at specified times. So if you have a pretty structured schedule with your caregiving journey throughout your day, and you know there's pockets of your day that are tend to be really stressful, set a reminder on your phone to go off or your watch or something to stop to get you to start getting in the habit of stopping, pausing and breathing and taking a moment to pay attention to what you need because maybe you need something. Do you need to step outside of the house for a moment to breathe? Do you need to take a moment to step out and just take a break from your loved one because you guys are kind of butting heads and you're not getting anywhere? So take a minute to just stop and breathe. So, if there's anything you've taken from today's episode, I hope that you hear this today. I hope that you hear that pausing doesn't mean you're weak. Pausing doesn't mean you're a bad caregiver. Pausing doesn't mean that you're doing your job wrong. You're doing an amazing job of learning to be your loved one's caregiver. And I know it's not easy because you're doing it without probably any prior medical training or experience to draw from. And so this is all new. You're learning so many skills in a very short amount of time so you're up to par with what your loved one needs. And I get it. That can be so stressful and hard on your body. So I want you to give yourself some grace. And if you're ready to build more resilience and prevent burnout, I hope that you'll join me for the rest of this series. So definitely click that like and subscribe button so you'll be notified when other episodes are posted. And until the next time, I just hope that you'll remember that your health matters and you're a human being and a human body. You deserve to be cared for, and you certainly are not lazy. You are doing the best that you can for your loved one on a daily basis. So take care, share with a caregiver who needs to hear this as well, and I'll see you in the next episode.